As we will start in the top right-hand side of the map for our winner bracket finals with the red Protoss player from Storm Gaming. This is MaxPax. Taking on the blue Terran player in the bottom left-hand corner. It is Team Liquid's Clem. Ooh. So yeah, this series from replays, guys. The rest of the day will be live. Just one of the players between MaxPax and Clem just couldn't quite be here as early as we needed them. Just especially, I think, in case, you know, imagine the first few matches here today were very short as well. Then, you know, maybe they wouldn't have been here. They didn't want to delay the stream or anything. So there's one matchup, the winner bracket final is from replays. It was played yesterday, so it is fresh. You know, they've not played, you know, other events since then or anything, yada yada. Whatever else might concern you about replays. It is as fresh as yesterday, and yeah, obviously when this gets to the grand finals, the loser will play Showtime in the lower bracket finals. Of course, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So here's some stories for these guys so far. Obviously, if Showtime drops, if MaxPax drops down the lower bracket finals, he actually already beat Showtime in the winner bracket of this event. Clem didn't play Showtime in this event, but he did play MaxPax in the group stages. That was a 2-0 for... no, he didn't play MaxPax because MaxPax lost to Vanya, yes. And then got through the group anyway. So actually, Clem didn't play MaxPax in the groups, but they were in the same group. So we were kind of robbed of some Clem MaxPax back then. Maybe we'll get some Clem MaxPax here. Well, we will get some Clem MaxPax here today, absolutely and definitely. So that part is guaranteed. As we get this up and running, just going to be CNAP probe journeying across the upper right side. Factory is coming down, the reactor building on the barracks, and obviously a little bit more TvP. MaxPax plays a very different style to Showtime, and I feel like Clem plays a relatively different style to Hero Marine as well, so this should look pretty different to what we just saw in the previous bit of TvP action. That's going to be seen. Our reactor will be finished soon. The factory about to be done. At the same time, this adept of MaxPax is heading down to the bottom side of the map, so it's going to be, again, looking for a bit of info, and we'll not see that starport that Clem is setting up. So Clem getting a little sneaky out to the right side here, building that starport right now. Getting that up and running as the adept moves into the natural, where there's going to be a little bit of a chase on an SCV. We'll put it in the command center. That does delay the orbital, of course. Yep, this is a thing, guys. I see you, you see me, but can you reach me? No, you cannot. SCV stays alive. The dance is good to keep it alive from Clem. And he didn't bait the adept into staying here for his Hellions to kill either. But the adept also didn't see the Hellions, but he did see the starport in the end. So MaxPax knows about the proxy starport, is now aware of the incoming Hellion drop, or likely to be Hellion drop. It pretty much always is, of a starport proxied like this. And our robotics facility will go down for MaxPax in the natural expansion. So in we go. Getting that ready. And waiting to see just what will be next. Our blink is coming through. It's about halfway along as well here as we take the medevac of Hellions up, and actually going to drop the natural, so a little bit of a different direction, but MaxPax saw it coming, so he was able to relocate the Stalkers. Medevac down, so no escaping with these Hellions as he gets 7 probes. Can he get the 8? No, he cannot. Just can't quite reach it there at the end, unfortunately, but 7 probes not bad, right? Definitely a reasonable amount. Definitely puts Clem in a position where he's like, okay, you know, I'm okay with that. Overall, the work count evens out, but of course he's now missing a medevac. He missed a few units early, so there's potential for MaxPax to then come across the map and to deal some damage. You know, he has that opportunity. And of course, Clem didn't have his starport at home for a while, so he's missing further starport production for a bit too. So, you know, even work account, maybe not great for MaxPax, but other parts of the game kind of come through for him there as he gets an SCV here, but he will not be able to do much else. The tank's in a good position. There's not enough Stalkers to really fight and to keep on fighting with. It's just enough to kind of put that little bit of initial pressure on with. So that's what we more or less see from it. The few Stalkers here turning around again. Now an Observer joining up with these few Stalkers. And gonna allow them to blink up into this main base. So into the main we go. One Marine already gets shot down. Another Marine gets shot down. So now you're seeing the Stalkers coming back through. The Immortal is coming up from MaxPax. It's going to be finished in a few short moments. Again, that Immortal ready. Adept just sits in the back. And Colossus now on the way from the Robo facility as well. So just continue to bring this through. As we do see our couple of Stalkers making their way forward from MaxPax, but not going to really find all too much. As that charge starts up on the Twilight Council, then cancels. It's going to go extended thermal lance. Maybe then he'll add on the charge just a little bit after. Maybe just a reprioritization of the upgrades there. Wants to make sure he's got Colossus range as soon as possible. Does not want to be delaying that. And like I say, then you from there. You just go on from there, guys, right? Don't need to really explain that further. So just going to be seeing these few Stalkers still sitting out the front, and obviously just picking away at whatever tries to leave, trying to deny any, map control basically for Clem. You see that Viking coming into the Shade of Light? I've never seen that. I mean, crazy. I feel like I've never seen that on this map. Wow. This map's been around for ages. Am I crazy? I feel like I've never noticed that at all. That Viking just lighting up as there's like a ray of sunshine or something? That's so weird. A larger Bioforce moving forward, and still a low Stalker count, but it is actually slowing Clem down a little bit and making him siege tanks and think twice. Obviously, there is a third base coming up, but there's potential for Clem to push now as his upgrades are finishing. Without a high Stalker count, he can get across the map easily, and I think as long as he can get across the map, I feel like you're somewhat okay and somewhat happy to kind of take something of a trade here. Bios just continue up the left, going to be able to find a probe. Gonna take that down right away. Continuing up to the 12 o'clock where a couple Colossi, sentries, etc. lie in wait. Stalker's gonna recall home as Clem is not gonna be allowed to take a fight here just yet. The Colossi push this back and Clem will have to siege as he retreats there for a moment. Just gonna be seeing that cannon is gonna be finishing up. The couple of medevacs will make their way out across to the upper left hand side. We've seen our army just kind of firing up a little bit of a storm there. Nothing overly crazy, I guess. I mean, Clem's still just looking around for a bit of a chance to siege somewhere. Just looking for an opening. Of course, all this time, more and more splash damage comes out from MaxPax, so you're going to have to be careful as Clem not to overcommit. Widow Mines go off over here. There's a little bit of a drop gets going. There's a lot of Widow Mines, actually, and they get a lot of splash damage done. That part of this fight's really good, and I actually don't think now you've got enough Zealots over here for MaxPax. He's just going to get that Colossus to the Super Battery. Oh, but that was scary, and this attack's still going, because again, you just did so much with the initial Widow Mine connections. They really cleaned up a crap ton of stuff right there. And all of a sudden, MaxPax does take a hit. This Clem is now going to try and make his way into the main. The couple of tanks will set up. They will siege. For a moment, it looked as though they were kind of considering whether they wanted to or not. At the Super Battery here, and then just probably lift and leave, right? And just let the tanks do some of the work. We lose a medevac, though, so going to pull back to the corner. Oh, tanks are going to get surrounded by the Zealots, so that should be a cleanup. There's a single Marauder, or it's actually a mine that's going to come into the natural. Good response from MaxPax. I'm going to unburrow, load into the medevac, but it's just too fancy as the Stalkers blink through, and that's the medevac going bye-bye. Good defense from MaxPax. Really good defense just to set him up into bit of a better position, finally stabilizing a bit after all of these fights. Clem will be starting to move out again, checking on that army. Coming across the map here, so gathering on the watchtower. Actually, MaxPax is coming to this watchtower as well. We might have a fight right here. In the next couple of moments, Widow Mines will go off on a couple of Zealots. Clem doesn't have a lot to deal with the Colossi just yet, so if MaxPax continues pushing, this could become problematic. My army will come along, we'll start to work on the rocks. And yeah, for the moment, we will go from there as Clem wants to try and slow down MaxPax's army from coming across the map. Zealots are surrounding the buildings you see over here. The Zealots are going to warp into the main base as well. Actually, I think Clem's in a bit of trouble here. He does clean up the Zealots at the front. Let's see how he handles the Zealots in the main. His main army really is being chased away, but at least it keeps the Colossi away from his side of the map. So, I mean, there's something to be said about that in terms of how good that is or how nice that might be. There's something positive, I guess. 10 workers going down, still Zealots in the main. Now Zealots warp in to hit the third base, and we've still got the 3 Colossi here. Something that I don't know if Clem has a way to fight. He is going to run in and cancel a 4th, but that's obviously not as meaningful as his 3 bases that are up right now and currently taking a beating. 26 SCVs going down, and, well, Widow Mines will need to get some magic. Nice blink back on the Stalkers there to set off one of them. This Widow Mine will hit, but I just don't know if Clem's going to do anywhere near the damage he needs across the map. As MaxPax going to take this fight in right now. SCVs are stacked up, trying to pull through into this, and MaxPax has too much and does win game 1 of this best of 3 on 2,000 atmosphere. Fix this to a 1-0 lead and just does it with, convincing stuff. Defended. I mean, initially the defense wasn't perfect, but it was good enough, and he got it to a point where he could then turn it into something, I think, most importantly. So, yeah, good on MaxPax, as in the top left. He is the red Protoss, taking on the blue Terran in the bottom right. Clem, as we get this one up and running. Map 2, Berlingrad. Let's see if Clem can turn this series around, or if this might just be a little bit too much, Protoss for him. And he would, hopefully not, because then he would be falling down to a lower bracket to play against Showtime. So yeah, Clem's gonna maybe have to improve his TvP a little bit, as GLHF is going to be called to kick this one off. And they return the GLHF to each other as well. We talk about the WardiTV European League, guys. One of the main things about running this event is that we do, we're trying to create this league kind of year after year now, This is an event we want to have running, on repeats. Last year, Clem was the winner. He actually beat Showtime in the finals, 4-3. It was a pretty awesome affair, honestly. It was a lot of fun. MaxPax went out in the first round of the lower bracket in the playoffs that time around. So yeah, Clem won this event back in 2020, and I believe the first time we ran this event was in 2019, and in that event, I do believe, if I'm not mistaken, Clem went all the way to the finals, but he lost in the winner bracket final to Mana, and he got back to the grand final only to lose to Mana again. Mana was just on point in that event. He topped his group, and then he beat Reynor, then Clem, to win the tournament, so I thought that was really cool, and a little bit of history for you, that Clem has never missed out on a grand final in the WardiTV European League, so turns out when we come to Europe, Clem is absolutely one of the top dogs. I always felt like Clem was very consistent in a lot of these online tournaments, actually. He was always... I feel like Clem never really underperformed a lot of the time in a lot of the stuff I ran. Hey, what's up, Mana in the chat? That Mana guy must be awesome. Ah, it was a pretty sick run back then. Check you out, winning all the tournaments, huh? Just need to do it again next year. Rival Clem's number of titles in the European League. Let that be some motivation to practice this week, huh? Three Reapers, obviously a bit of a funky opening here from Clem, is on the other side of the map, but proxying a gateway as MaxPax, so he's just going to go 3 gates of pressure. I think Clem's going to figure this out, though, because obviously the Reapers come through. Ooh, the attack shaded back or so there. We're going to get ourselves 2 probe kills so far. He's got a couple of probes that are one-hittable, and you're going to get 3, 4, now 5, nearly 6. He gets the grenade down. 6 kills, only loses a Reaper so far. Clem's attack up until this point has been fantastic. 7 workers. Workers also just not mining as they were pulled away before. And Clem does fantastic and sees no tech, so he should be aware of the potential aggression. He's actually building concussor shells on his tech lab. That's kind of cool against someone who's only going to have gateway units and wants to be aggressive. Concussive shells is going to give you the chance to kind of just stop them from kiting backwards, right? So what's really powerful usually about these stalkers is that they can kite back, but now they're just going to get caught. So first stalker already going down, and that's going to really make MaxPax reconsider some of these upcoming fights and whether he wants to move in, because every time he moves in right now, Clem's going to get some concussive shells off on him, and there's another stalker going down. The good news here is that Adepts are a little bit tankier against Marauders, so the Marauders don't kill those quickly, but the Adepts also don't kill the Marauders very quickly. Marauders get into the bunker, one Marauder will fall down. I mean, I guess the main thing you could maybe look for was possibly the, SCV kills, but it's actually Reapers are getting probe kills across the map again. 5 more, and MaxPax, he's actually just going to type GG. I mean, he just knows that he's got obviously no tech on the way. He's lost so many workers to these Reapers, and he achieved really not much at all. Like, traded out units across the map, and that's just not good enough for how committed he was here. And that's going to give Clem the victory. Odd opening from Clem, but actually delivers just like that. That was a hell of a crazy game. That really came of curious minds to decide this series 1-1. We've gone the distance. Quick, ferocious second game out of Clem. Really shutting down his opponent's aggression in the bottom right. As in the top left is going to be our red Protoss play from Sidestorm Gaming. It is MaxPax. And we'll see what he pulls out. He was obviously trying to be aggressive last game and just got shut down hard, so that's definitely kind of something to think about. It wasn't just kind of Clem being aggressive. It was MaxPax trying to mix it up a little bit as well. So a couple of different things here so far. Once we get this up and running. Is only the finals best of 5? The finals is best of 3 as well. Best of 3, if the lower bracket player wins the best of 3, we have another best of 3. If the winner bracket player wins the best of 3, they win the tournament. Just fancied doing something different. I knew that this was going to be a long day for me when I organized it because we had next earlier in the day and stuff, so I just wanted to stay away from like super long series, and I didn't fancy doing a 1-0 start to a best of 5. Because sometimes I feel like that can get out of hand very quickly. So, yeah, that's why. Engineering Bay will get cancelled up on the natural expansion. Just going to be seeing our cyber core coming through. And our orbital command center is a building on the main base as well. It's just getting that set up and rolling. Nothing surprising here. Again, we've seen a lot of these Marine openers rather than Reaper openers. I say just after we saw a bunch of Reapers last time around, but the Reapers last time around were the exception to the rule for the most part, I would say. As we grab a probe and the reactor building on this barracks. Get the bunker going on the natural expansion as well. It's just getting all of that set up right now. Okay, it's just coming in. Just going to be seeing the Adept Chrono boosting out. It's heading down to the bottom right-hand side. Just going to see that bunker finishing up. And Marine jumping inside of the bunker. SCV coming through. And just going to be seeing a couple of additional racks setting up from Clem as well. Marines in the bunker. Just going to turn the Adept away. Otherwise, just seeing again a couple more Marines coming through. The Twilight Council is setting up. Now, second and third barracks in the main base. All of this just going to point towards Clem being fairly aggressive early with this 3-rack. Short map as well, right? So quick to walk across. I wonder if Clem, maybe even decides to go for something like a concussive shell opening again. Sometimes you can go with like a concussive shell time rather than, hitting the stim time, and you hit a bit sooner on a map like this. That could be kind of deadly if your opponent's not ready for it, if they're not prepped. Or if they're just not thinking about it, right? So it's definitely a possibility as the Marines come through and the Adept taking quite a lot of damage. That one Marine's running. He actually gets one more Marine as he shades away. So 3 kills on this Adept. 4 Marines in total. 1 Adept, 1 down. As Warp Gate finishes up soon, we're just adding on a second gateway of the game, so it's not too crazy with Blink starting. And it is just going to be stim from Clem right away as well, so it's not going to be that kind of situation I talked about, where I was saying maybe you go concussive shells right away. It will just be stim and combat shield, and we just play into the 3 racks from there. So in we go. A couple of gates just setting up. That will take us to 4 gates in total here for MaxPax. So that's going to be where he steps this up a little bit further. Will, in fact, really commit through to a bit more pressure in this. Marines moving through and just putting some damage onto the Adept. It's going to be able to take that down, so the Adept will fall. A couple of Marauders, all these Marines. Heading straight up to the upper left-hand side of the map. Blink is about to finish up. A few Marines, stem combat shield, +1, etc. all on the way in. And yeah, we're going to get up to the top left in just a few moments. That's going to be funny because obviously you're kind of having a 3 racks hitting into a 4-gate blink. Who wins that? Well, yeah, it's kind of a weird situation as Stalkers will start to chase down this Bioforce. Obviously, isn't a long road home as Clem is just going to turn and fight. I think he knows, of course, obviously, that this is not going to go well for him if he just kind of backs up completely. He is just going to lose pretty much everything. He goes for the Prism, scans for it, and gets it. That's actually the biggest play he could make. Because at the very least now he buys himself a lot more time at home where there's going to be A, no high ground vision, and B, no reinforcements. That might have been the biggest move Clem could have made there for sure. I actually think that's really sick. That actually gets me a little bit excited. Because if a Prism's here right now and you're walking across the map, then I'm actually really worried for Clem, but yeah, now I can kind of believe in the defense at least a little bit, right? Clutch scan, as we do see the bunker. Going to be ignored for a second. SCV is struggling to get the repair, but will get it going now. They were just derping around as they got to the bunker before. Stalker's blinking back. The Prism coming back in. High Army just going to start working through the rocks a little bit as we come up the ramp. Blink back down. And the SCV is repairing once more as we set up on the left-hand side. Sentry and a few Zelds continuing through. Bio Army coming in as well. Just going to see these Stalkers taking some hits. +1 attack's about to be done from Clem. So gets his, he has tanks in this main base. Attacking the main. Well, the force field's obviously decent, but these Stalkers are next to the ramp anyway, so the Bio Army's fighting, so the force fields aren't really doing anything. Now we got a siege tank. Oh my god, we're going to cancel the warp in. And Clem's going to chase for the Prism and actually pushes it back. What a disaster for MaxPax. Everything just fell apart in an instant. That is brutal. Literally everything just fell apart so quickly there. I don't even think I have anything to add to that. That was just, wow, not good is my summary, but yeah, geez, that was just not pretty at all. This is going to be seen as Stalkers getting a few more SCVs. Obviously the tank holding up at the back. This is going to be seen that Bioforce of Clem going to start making a bit of a move out, and just now see the Marines chasing away that Prism. More Stalkers continuing through, and just going to be having Clem just loading up down. He knows what the situation is, so he is moving across the map, and for good reason. He knows that he can make himself a play. Big push across the map then as the Bio Army comes through. A few Stalkers will start to hit a Marauder as we turn. A few Stalkers going to move back up the ramp, and going to see a siege tank sieging up as well. The Bioforce continuing through from Clem. That's 2 tanks will come out to the front, so tanks out to the front, dropping those down. Just going to be seeing a Stalker already picked off. Another tank shot is decent there as well. Probes going down as our robo facility is producing a Colossus, and just going to be going back and forth a little bit, continuing through. 5 workers continuing to drop. Just going to see that Prism loading back up. The Colossus gets saved for a moment. Zelds are going to continue to charge on forward as well. Tanks turn to fire. The Colossus still taking a bit of a beating. 5 probes have fallen down. I mean, we obviously expected Clem to do very well across the map anyway. I guess, in a way, maybe I'm impressed that MaxPax didn't just insta-die. But Clem obviously is in a position to make this work. The Colossus gets shot down instantly there by the tank fire as Clem is scanned. And that is going to do it. Clem goes to the grand finals. 3 WardiTV European League finals in a row. Can he maybe, possibly, go back-to-back as a champ? We'll find out a bit later in the grand finals.